so I don't think there's anybody quite in here yet, so I will just share the link out. Where do I get the link for this, though? I think I have to go right to my YouTube channel. Let's see here.
Yeah, on a live stream, you might have to.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to. All right, let's go to the channel here. If anyone's in here, thanks so much for tuning in. I'm going to have to edit some stuff. Let's see. We got one watching. Cool. Let's share this out.
Unfortunately, that's me.
Oh,
I brought it up to see if I could show the link too. I'm going to tweet it out too, just in case anybody sees it.
Yeah, I think it's either you or me. So live now. I'm going to edit that title. Quick.
Speak your mind.
Let's just do one quick thing here.
Yeah, you got a couple people coming in now. There you go.
All right, I think it sounds like we have a few people in here. Welcome, welcome. All right, let me just do a couple things here real quick, and then we'll be underway. Oh, I didn't even do a little thing for this. I might have to. No, I'll do that later. That's all good. All right, sweet, sweet, sweet. How do you make dislikes show? Man, if we could do, I think that's a YouTube thing. Oh, we're getting a bunch of people in here. Sweet. We got 6 people in. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We got GenHEX here with us. Craig Wadding tuning in for this show. It's going to be an awesome one. We're going to talk all things PulseX, Pulsechain. Maybe shoot the shit a little bit. We're going to get it going. So let's just check in with the likes. Or not the likes, sorry, the comments here. Welcome everyone in here. Welcome, Lazy Boy. Bowster, hello, hello. Hex Deck. This man is awesome. Okay, so me and Hex Deck have been talking, and he shot me a message. We've been trying to figure out whether there's a limit to the amount of accounts you can have in a single wallet, Craig. And I wasn't sure, and he wasn't sure, so I was like, maybe just talk to MetaMask and see if they have a thing, right? He's like, oh, I'll just mess around and see. He messaged me today. He's like, yes, I'm up to 150 so far, and there's no limit.
Wow.
So I'm just gonna try again tomorrow. I'm like, oh.
I have like 4, and I thought that was pushing the boundaries. So that's amazing. I had no idea.
Oh, I know. I had no clue. So Hex Deck, shout out to you. That's awesome doing the research for us here. Yo, Arnold Bach, welcome.
Hex Deck 16. I hope you have 10 million PLSX in every one of those tests in every one of those wallets. I hope you have that much. Because if you do, you are gonna just destroy it, brother.
Oh man, I hope so. I hope so. Guys, if you haven't liked the stream already, please like the video on the way in. If you want to smash the thumbs down too, I mean, you can do that, but we prefer the thumbs up. What's up?
Apparently, the algorithm doesn't care.
Really? They just want to see a thumb.
They just want to see a thumb. It could be sideways, whatever.
Oh man. All right. Well, then, yeah, do as you please.
They quit showing them because we don't want to hurt anyone. No one wants to have their feelings hurt to see how many people actually disliked it.
Right. We actually need a little more of that in this world, to be honest, but that's just my take.
Help constructive criticism.
Exactly. There aren't our dislikes on this channel. Exactly. All right, hold on. Let's just get through all the likes here with all the comments. What's up, everybody? Pulsechain Trainer, welcome. Lazy Boy, hey. Welcome. Yeldar Lumas, I hope I did not butcher your name there. Space 007. I appreciate that. Love the technical video contained by the way. I'm not sure what video you're referring to, but either way, thank you very much. I'm very glad you're enjoying and learning something from the content. 266 now, he says. Yeah, so that's insane.
I hope you're numbering those, because if you gave each one a nice cute little name, you probably ran out of Smurfs at 100, right?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, exactly. 150. No, we're almost at the bottom here.
Hey, Morris. I recognize some of these folks.
Oh, right. So sweet. They've been coming to your channel as well?
I usually am in Hex Token's channel. I don't know if you're familiar with Hex Token. He's from New Zealand. He does a stream every night.
Okay. There's so many guys to keep, and there's so many new.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I haven't seen him.
You ought to check it out if you haven't. I'm not trying to show other people's channels, but he usually does a little later in the evening, well, my time anyway, and he goes through like all the stats for the day, all the the staking, new stakes, how much payout. Just you got to check it out at least one time because it's fairly consistent each time. Different new stuff he talks about, but he is like a plethora of just. He reminds me of if you've ever been listening on the radio where you hear like the farm report, the daily farm report on the radio or something. All the stats like crop sale, beans and corn, all like the like a stock, like a human ticker. Yeah, just check it out sometime.
I will. I got him written down here. I'm gonna check him out tonight when I get a chance.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I'll send you his. Awesome. I'll DM you his YouTube link later if you want.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. It's cool though. Yeah, we definitely have a tight knit community though. There's the core group of the community is like floating around to all the different YouTubers. It's pretty cool. We have a lot of people that are really just wanting to learn here. It's pretty awesome. And let's just welcome everyone else in. Hey, no problem, guys. Glad you guys are enjoying the content.
I think some folks are thirsty too for information. Like even hearing it from different perspectives gives them more confidence that, okay, well, I've heard 5 different people pretty much say the same thing on this topic. So, you know, it sounds like a good strategy or whatever, you know, not financial advice. Of course.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's not financial, but I think like for me at least, the point of my channel and for how I view other people is like the more people, the more opinions we have, the more informed everyone can be. Especially like you said, if you're going to different channels, you're finding information. And all my channel is supposed to ever be is supposed to be an outlet for people to have an idea of what might be, go research that more, and I disprove it, you know, through further research. It's kind of
if I could take the opportunity to say this, I'm not shilling, I'm not kissing tail. The reason why I messaged you, man, I don't remember a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure how long your channels have actually been out, probably right after you started it. And I'm like, who's this guy? Listen to this guy, man. You're just like, boom, boom, boom. Like I said, I wasn't joking, man. You're on fire. You're killing it. You do a really good job. I think the reason why your channel is growing so fast is not just your content, which is up to date, like it's current topical stuff. Your delivery, I think, is really good, and you're just getting better. And I'm not I'm not kissing up, man. I'm trying to be honest. My honest critique. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. I think that's why your channel's doing well. I think that's why people are finding you and subscribing to you because they you know, I think the chat agrees with what I'm saying. So yeah, man. I appreciate you, and I'm glad to be here with you and the community. That's why I started my channel, was because I just feel like there needs to be more positivity in the community. We're all in this together. We're all fleas on the same dog.
100%.
And you know, we can do this all at the same time and all reap the benefits of it. So
exactly.
And some people like myself, when I'm at work or something and I go pull up my phone and I'm looking for stuff. We were all anticipating Pulsechain. So when we hear other people talking about it, it makes me feel like I'm sane.
Yeah.
Because my hobby the last couple of months has been, you know, when launch, sir, you know, pretty much.
Yeah.
So anyways, I just want to get that out there, man. I think you're awesome. And I'm glad I'm here. And if you're new to this and you're just finding this stream right now, please subscribe to this guy, hit a like for him. He's going places,
guys. And first of all, Craig, I really do appreciate what you said there. And the honesty is what I really appreciate, because I want to know whether I'm doing a good job or not, and I'll keep on the consistency with that. So I thank you, and thank you for coming on for one, because it's really cool that you right away just started messaging or just started commenting. We started commenting back and forth and talking to each other, and then boom, here we are. So I think this is really cool. And guys, if you haven't subscribed to GenHEX, go check his channel out, sub to him as well. We got to raise everyone that's in this community up together so we all can win. We all learn and we all succeed at the same time, right? So I think it's a perfect segue though of what you're talking about why you started the channel. So why don't we talk about real quick what made you go from, I don't know, pre-crypto to crypto, and then crypto to creating a channel.
Yeah. Okay. Whew. I'll try to give you the Cliff Notes version.
For sure.
A few years ago, I wanted to switch careers. I've always been interested in technology and different stuff, but you get stuck in the rat race, whatever your day job is. You've always got those bills waiting on you on payday, your paycheck spoken for. And once you're a grown up and you have grown up bills and responsibilities, it's hard to make that leap to change careers and try to go back to school and things like that. I think it's hard. Some people are able to do it very easily, and bless you if that's you, right? So a few years ago, I decided I actually had hand surgery. I had surgery on both hands. I'm right-handed. I got the right hand done first, carpal tunnel, where they cut me down here and cut me up here. And then 2 weeks later, I went back and got the other hand done, hoping that would give my right hand more time to heal before I went back to work.
Right.
And while I was off for about 5 weeks, I convinced myself that I could do online college and get a bachelor's degree in computer science. So I start down that road, and I start taking the courses, and I'm like, hey, look at this. I'm 40 something years old and I'm doing this, right? I'm doing college, and I'm like ace in all my, I mean, I realize it's on the computer, but like I'm nailing all the grades on all the different topics, whether it's humanities or all these other things I don't care about, but I have to do. And when I got back to work, and all of a sudden now I'm putting in the 40 to 50 hours a week work and coming home and trying to do all that school. It was too much. So I found out, though, going online and trying to find different, not cheat codes, but different learning strategies and stuff. Hey, wait a minute. I don't have to go to college to learn how to code. I can learn how to code from Code Academy or this or Udemy or different stuff. So I made a YouTube channel called Code at 45, and it was documenting me from the very beginning. Like, hey, I'm 45 years old and I'm learning how to code. And I thought people I knew were like, that would be pretty interesting. People might want to follow that, right?
Absolutely.
Just out of curiosity. You have no idea. I turned around twice and I had like 1,600 subs. I was putting out these videos. I was getting emails from people like literally around the world. Like, hey, my name is whatever. I'm from Indonesia or New Zealand or Ireland or whatever. And I thought I was too old at 34 to learn how to do this, but I see you doing it and you've really inspired me. And you start getting these people, like, you have no idea who they are. Strangers that are being motivated and inspired by just you, some guy turning on the camera and talking. And I did that for a while until eventually I got burned out. I lost both my parents within a 9-month window. Relocated, changed jobs, different stuff, and I fizzled out, man. The wind out of my sails, and then the rat race sucked me back to work full time. And about a year ago, I was talking to a friend of mine who was also learning to code, younger guy. And he asked me about crypto. And I said, yeah, like Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think I've heard of Ethereum. He's like, oh man, I'm into this one and I'm into that one. I'm like, what, there's more than two, So I started checking it out. And of course I found some of the typical very large YouTube Furu channels, right? And I was on, and I didn't know what exchange to use. I just wanted like an all-in-one exchange. Something. Okay, I put my money on there. I buy stuff, then I sell stuff. And I just assumed when you do crypto, you trade. You buy stuff, it goes up. Yeah. You sell it. You make a little bit of money. You take that money to buy something else. I didn't know about staking and yield farms and degen.
Of course, how would you? Yeah.
Right. So I basically kind of started DCAing in because I'm a paycheck to paycheck, hand to mouth guy. There's no like, I'll go cash out my $40,000 worth of what my grandpa gave me or something, right?
Totally. Yeah.
So I started getting in, and I didn't know. I'd never heard of Richard Hart. Didn't know anything about it. It's about it like a year ago. I said I was going to give you the short version, but it's hard to do. So
great.
I got wrecked a few times. I did a B&B minor thing, like, oh, you put in one BNB and this many days, you get this many back. And it's like, oh my God, that's incredible. Sign me up. I have 3 BNB all my life, all the money I have in the world. And then after a few days of getting a little bit of that mining yield back, and you're like, hey, this pool's shrinking fast. I wonder if it's going to last long enough to get all my 3 BNB back. And,
oh no,
you know, I made a video, by the way, about, I call them the locusts, these degen crypto mining dApps that you're going to see probably pop up on Pulsechain, where crazy yield percentages and everybody starts throwing their stuff in there. You lose 5% when you deposit. You lose 5% when it's done.
Is that a tax, I'm assuming, or is it just a loss?
It's the dApp charges the fee, so that no matter what happens, they get their 5 in and 5 out. You put in $1,000. I put in $100. This guy puts in $10,000, and it's Ponzi. So only so much goes in. Nothing's generating more. People get a yield back every day, and when it dries up to 0, they're gone. All the coins got redistributed. They got their 5 in and 5 out, or 10 in, 5 in, 10 out, whatever it is. And a lot of times when people are new, like I was, they just see it like, oh wow, look, you know, what, 85,000 APY. Sign me up,
oh no, those numbers. Yeah, you see those and you start freaking out.
and not to say that some liquidity pools don't have mechanics and game theory or whatever that I'm not trying to sit here and say that. And if you see any liquidity type dApps that aren't PulseX, you know, do your own research. Okay.
100%. Yep.
So got wrecked on that, tried to start back over, paycheck to paycheck. And when I say that, I mean, okay, I paid my bills. What do I have left to last me till next payday? Hey, I think I could go on Binance US or Coinbase, and I might be able to buy $100 of ADA. Ooh, maybe I can get some VeChain this week. You know,
slow grind.
It went up a penny. Yeah. So, watching around the blockchain, I'll just call it that.
Yeah.
Richard Hart's on there. Pulse Sacrifice was going on. I don't know if you caught that episode. And I'm like, who is this guy? He's like dropping the F-bomb, you know, family friendly show, all this stuff. And I'm like, who is this guy? And what got me though was the way the other people were treating him. And I thought, okay, this guy is either like a pariah or he's being gatekept. There's something else going on here. So thank goodness I looked him up and I started watching his previous stuff. And then I'd realize, hey, I'd heard of Hex before. And of course I heard the negative side. And I started putting 2 and 2 together and checking it out. And then I started actually finding YouTube content creators like Maddie All In. They were doing the Quant Gang. And Kareem and Wales, and then Discord Syndicate and those guys. Hex Joker, I ran across Hex Joker, and at first, and I'm going to say this up front, Hex Joker, if you ever see this, I love you, man. I love what you do. But when I first saw you, I was like, who is this goofball?
I was hanging out in there too. I was
hanging out in their stuff. He does an awesome job. So if you've ever seen Hex Joker and you're not sure what to think, please keep watching.
He's a professional entertainer, but he's a hell of a knowledgeable human being.
He cracks me up. Hey, Sandy. I just want to say hey to a couple people. Jim Rat Crypto, I see you, man. Dougie Peach.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go back to
Sandy
the chat.
Beach.
Sandy Beach is
everybody's. She has an official moderator wrench of her own. She just carries it around and instantly becomes moderator everywhere she goes. Awesome. Sandy's awesome.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Brizology, what's up, man?
What's up, Briz?
Crypto Gains Club, Buffo. I see these guys everywhere, man. This is community right here.
Yeah, this is the gang right here. Everyone's in here.
Yeah. Checking out Richard Hart. Fortunately, right as the Pulsechain stack was happening, I think by the time I even realized what are we doing? And could even scrap up some money, I think we were already like day 9 or 10 for PulseSac. So I was able to get in on it, but not as heavy. God knows, not as heavy as I'd love to have got in. But
of course,
I bought Hex at 13 cents before the
that run up. Nice.
Yes. So I started buying at 13 and DCAing in. And by the time the run up and then the dip again, and then PulseX sacrifice came around, I was able to DCA in, get a few stakes in hex. And then I was prepared for the PulseX sacrifice because at my job there was a signing bonus and I had to wait so many months to get it. And right before the PulseX sac came out, I got that bonus. And I'm like, I know where this is going. Yep. And so basically, as of PulseX time, new Hexagon, Pulsechain, PulseXagon, whatever you want to call me. But I tend to kind of go all in when I get involved in something. Like I immerse myself.
Yep.
Even with the coding, similar. When I started doing the coding, I'm driving around to work. I've got an earbud in my ear and I'm listening to something. It's like if I'm not wasting my time listening to music or sports or something. I mean, I like hockey and football, but it was all about, even if I couldn't see it, I'm listening, you know,
just something always going in.
And same thing with Hex. Like earlier today at work, you had put out a video. I don't know if it was earlier today. I think it was earlier today. And you said something about streaming tonight, right?
Yeah. It was earlier today. Yeah.
Yep. So I had an hour and a half drive home from my last job I did today. And I was driving, listening to YouTube not watching. Don't worry, anybody. I don't watch YouTube.
Right. Yeah, of course.
maybe at red lights, I might look down. And that's when I pulled in the driveway. I DM'd you on Twitter and said, hey man, I know I'm on call, but if you still want to stream, I probably can do it. And if I get a phone call, if I get an emergency, I got to leave. Knock on wood, the phone's not ringing this evening, but yeah. So a few weeks ago, did you watch the live Hexpo Vegas conference thing? A lot of that going on.
I caught bits and pieces of it. I didn't get to watch the full thing. But I did catch some of it for sure.
Well, some of the guys, I think Rags to Riches, and some of the other guys, Bally at Brand, we're talking about new content creators and the community and different stuff. And during that stream, when Rags was talking about it, I did a super chat or something, and I said I don't usually compliment gingers or something like that, whatever. But I said you've inspired me. I'm going to start my own channel, and it was basically my back to the original question, like how did I get into crypto and why did I make the channel and why am I trying to be involved in the community?
Totally.
I've been moderating in a couple different channels because you hang out in there enough and you don't cause trouble. A lot of times you get a wrench, right? Yep. Sometimes there's stuff you say in chat or you try to say in a super chat and the person streaming sees it and they bring it up on screen, they comment it, they answer you, whatever. And a lot of times they don't, like right now, the chat scrolling, it's hard to keep your train of thought, what you're talking about, and, read everything. And I thought, there's got to be other people like me that are just like the newer, not OG, but people that are really interested in being a part of the community. We got stuff to say. We have questions to ask.
Absolutely.
And what better way to get that out there than to turn the camera on? And some people do a better job than others of certain things. I'm not like a TA guy. I'm not going to show you like graphs and try to explain Fibonacci's and, monthly averages.
Two of us there.
There's enough people doing that. I don't want to go do all that homework, how to learn how to do that without looking like an absolute idiot when you can go to 7 different channels today and see that, what I want to talk about is strategy. Like, hey, I'm just the average Joe. I'm whatever the list is, the squids and the crabs and the sharks and all that. I don't know. I'm like a minnow down here.
Yeah.
maybe a plankton, but I'm still some guy out here. And I bet you there's more guys like me that have a couple $1,000s invested in Hex and Pulse than there are people that have millions of dollars. So,
for sure. Yeah.
Me speaking my voice to people more like me, like, hey guys, so what do you think? What are we going to do? What do you think we're going to do? Preparing, using the test net now. So when it comes out, you're not making silly mistakes. Make the mistakes with the test tokens.
Exactly.
But that and just conversation and community and positivity. I didn't know what was going on, like the Twitter and the different things. And like I said, some people have that FU money already. They got in early in Bitcoin, Ethereum, or even Hex. I don't want to say that money makes you not be a nice person, but when you have that kind of money, you don't really have to be nice to everybody. Thank goodness there's people in the community that have a ton of money that are still awesome, right? Support everybody.
True, very true, very true.
But yeah, so I made the channel, and Hex Token, I don't know if you're in here, and I was telling you about him earlier. Hex Token gets on every night, streams. He's from New Zealand. I think he does a couple streams a day sometimes. He posts a couple videos a day. He has been super supportive of me ever since I told him I was starting a channel. Like, he gives me shout outs all the time.
That's awesome.
When I see other streamers on, like earlier today, Jim Rat was on. I try to go in there, make a couple comments, make sure I hit like.
Yep, every time.
The shithead still hasn't given me a wrench in his chat yet, but I figure if he's in here, maybe I'll shame him into giving me a wrench.
Yeah.
I'm in chat like, when wrench, sir, when wrench, sir. But you know, he's been streaming like hours and hours. And like I said, man, you're doing an awesome job. And you know, like I say, what tide lifts all ships or whatever, right? So I'd love to see where you almost couldn't bring up your YouTube app and not see that there's some Pulsechain not streaming at almost any given time. That'd be awesome to me.
I think that would be.
That pretty much gets me to here. Yeah, I said I found your channel, was leaving comments, and they were sincere, like, dude, you're on fire, man. This is great stuff. And when you replied back to me on the one message about like, hey, I'll message you on Twitter. When you were like, yeah, we could stream sometime. And then I'm like, well, I'm on call this week and I might get called out on an emergency job. And I'm just like, holy crap, what did I just do? The guy's willing to stream with me. And I'm like, I don't know, you know, maybe if I have time. It's like, oh God. So I was like trying to fix it. And then I was like the guy calling back the girl after the first date, leaving all the voices. I was like, hey, I thought I heard the phone ring. It might have been you. I was washing my hair. And anyways, so when you replied back, like, yeah, cool, whatever. I was like, oh, okay. So he doesn't think I'm some kind of dingling over here. So, no. But yeah, so that is pretty much it, man. That's how I got into crypto, how I found Richard Hart and Hex, and why I made the channel and why we're sitting here talking. And I hope to be able to not only grow my channel, because I'm not really worried about subs or making money off of a YouTube channel or Patreon and all that crap. But I'd like to know that someone like me and people that are guests or moderators or friends of mine online have a voice to where we can be talked to and heard to. And it's not just the people that have the FU money that I've heard, and I'm not going to mention names because I'm not trying to demean anybody, but I've heard people that have been around that a lot of people know the names of that'll almost talk down, patronize a little bit about some people that don't know or that are new, or we complain about gas fees on ETH because, hey, hand to mouth paycheck. Do I have 50 or $100 to buy some Hex? If I got to spend $30 to buy the Hex,
what's the point? 2
steps forward, 1 step back. Yeah, it's still a little progress forward, but these some people that have tens of thousands of dollars, it is a big deal to us. We are looking forward for Pulsechain because those minute little gas fees is going to be the difference between me to be able to make that new staking ladder on Pulsechain that I'm not able to do right now on ETH. And sure, maybe Pulsechain eventually with the traffic, it'll cost a little bit more, and maybe the price of Pulsechain will go up. For those of us that are in it now and got a chance to get in on before this launch, we got our way. We here's the way I think of it, and I'm gonna shut up for a bit because I've been like dominating this thing.
No sweat.
There's a train station.
Yep. There's
the Hex train. You weren't there when the train started moving, but it's going down the track, and if you jog up a little bit, you can catch it. And not only can you reach out and grab that train and get on, there is a whole community of Hexicans that if they know you're trying to catch that train, they are going to reach out and try to help and pull you up in there.
I love that.
There's another train, and it's about to leave the station, and it's called Pulsechain. And if you got it on the sack, Not only you already got a seat, you got a ticket, you're going to ride that sucker till the wheels fall off of it. But when it starts taking off, there's going to be people coming in behind us that didn't know about that train either. And we have to start a whole nother leg of this community.
Mm-hmm.
It's the people reaching down. If everybody reaches down to help the person below them, pull them up, and that person pull them up, we can all still do it. It doesn't matter if you've been in this as a Hex OG from the beginning, or a Pulse OG, or a PulseX OG, or whatever the next thing Richard dreams up.
Yep, exactly.
There's no reason we can't all do it. And there's always going to be trolls, and there's going to be toxic people, and there's going to be people that move into this perfect little neighborhood that Richard carved out for us to build our little houses in, and they're still going to break windows and spray paint dicks on the side of buildings.
There's always going to be those.
There's always going to be those people.
Yeah.
And we need to work together like a community would. And sometimes you got to deal with that kind of stuff. And moderators have to deal with, spam. So that's where I'm at, man. That's pretty much
that's
me.
Awesome. No.
And my name, that's my real name. I was gonna go by Greg Walding, but I figured it was too late. The cat was already out of the bag, and
might as well just keep going with it, eh?
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
That's it, man. What about you? You have to have some kind of background doing something interactive with people. You're too good at it.
Well, I guess like growing up, being in so many sports, I always fell into like a natural coaching role. Is always kind of what I did. When I was in hockey, I ended up coaching the other goalies in like the goalie clinics. And then when I got into freestyle skiing, when I was like around 19 or so, I wasn't good enough for the first 2 years to be like competitive. So then I got asked to coach, and then I started coaching and skiing, and that lasted 5 years in freestyle skiing. And then basically everything I've done, I've kind of always just fell into this natural, I guess it felt like a natural teaching role. Whenever it comes to anything, I want to teach people stuff. I want to educate people, help people. Like when I learn something that's cool, I want people to learn it as well. And so I actually only learned about crypto last April. It would have been. It was the first time I really got into it. And my parents and family had been mentioning it to me like, hey, you should do crypto. You might really enjoy it. You might be good at it. And I was like, just sounds like not my thing. And I remember going on a walk with a friend, and she'd ask me, she's like, hey, you ever going to invest in any cryptocurrency? And I'm like, I didn't know anything further than like you, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and maybe like the dog coins and
a dog coin, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. And I was like,
something you saw on a Super Bowl commercial or something, maybe.
Yeah. I was looking at this whole thing. I'm like, it looks like a giant gambling casino because nothing makes sense. And what I'm hearing about the tech in there, this is what I said to her. I was like, Bitcoin to me is the MySpace of what social media has become, and that's the beginning. And I don't see investing in old tech. And so I'm gonna wait for the new thing. And lo and behold, I go to about August, and I come across. Well, I had actually heard in a podcast with Dollar Cost Crypto, he mentioned Hex, and on the podcast he said Hex is better than Bitcoin, and I remembered that. I was like, why did he say that? That's a big statement, right? And so I held on to that, and by August, I finally was like, you know what, I'm gonna look at this thing again, because I threw like a bit of money at SHIB and did the same thing. Like I put money in expecting it to go up, and it didn't. So I put it in something else and it didn't go up, and I put it in something else, didn't go up. Next thing you know, my $200 was $5, and I'm like, yeah, well, this is dumb. And then I had been working up at a gold mine, and I looked up Hex again. I was like, what is this thing? And then I found Whales Only, and I watched his episode 1, like what is Hex? And because I could watch or listen to videos all day in the truck. It's like 12 hours work, right? So I just plug it into the truck, driving around, and listen to this guy. I listened to probably the first like 20 episodes in a row. I went back and listened to them again because I'm like, this guy knows so much. This is incredible. And the more I listened to it, the more I was like, well, how do people not understand how big Hex is? Why isn't Hex bigger? And so I started doing more research and more research and more research. And I invested it the first time, did a horrible first stake, learned my lesson. So that was a lot of fun to go through that. But then I kind of just, because I kept talking to people about it, and I kept trying to say like, why don't you guys know about this coin that's going on, right? And then they would say the same thing you would say, where it would be, oh, there's just there's so much wrong with the guy. He's a scam artist. He's this, he's this, he's this. Look at all this. And I'm like, well, hold on here. Something's not making sense. And the more research I did, the more I was like, there's something bigger behind the scenes going on, because I could see the front being played by all these big major furus, and all the information they were citing you can't on the internet anywhere. It's just basic information on the stories that they have are sketchy sites that have no actual. It's like someone made it a site in 5 minutes, typed up a story about Richard Hart, and that's the story that they were going by, you know? And so the more I dug into it, the more I tried to talk to people about it, I just like learned more and more and more. And I kind of, like you, I got obsessed with it, where I'm like, I need to know everything about this. And then the more I learned about it, then I learned about I missed Pulsechain. I was like, oh no, I missed the second best opportunity I've ever come across. And then PulseX came out. I was like, oh.
Okay, so you missed Pulse, but you did get in on PulseX.
Exactly. Yes. I actually heard about Pulsechain when I was out at camp, and I was like, this sounds kind of weird. I don't want to touch that. And then like 3 weeks later, I was like, no, I should have just $100 would have been great. But so I missed that. And
I was gonna say, I make jokes about like I sold 5 kidneys to sack for PulseX. If I could have, I probably would have. I missed out that hard on Pulse.
Yeah. Going back, I probably would have done the same thing.
So not to dox you, but it is a really big country. Are you from Canada?
Oh yeah,
Okay, just checking it.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah,
Because you're talking about the hockey and the skiing. Now,
yeah.
I hope we can still be friends regardless. But normally, I just got this hat, by the way, hexmerch.com.
Oh yeah, nice.
Thanks, Motley. These are nice hats. But this is the hat I usually wear. It's kind of dirty.
That's the penguin. That's the Penguins.
Yeah, I grew up in Pittsburgh originally.
Oh, that's all good. Hey, the Penguins are a hell of a team.
I wish. Well, my dog's name's Yager. He's named after Jaromir Yager, by the way.
Oh no, that's awesome.
So I wish I could talk to Richard Hart sometime, because I keep hearing different little pieces, tidbits of his past. So I grew up in Pittsburgh. My mom and I guess myself, until I was probably early 20s, was Jehovah's Witness, was raised as Jehovah's Witness. And I keep hearing that about Richard.
Oh, no way.
And I'm thinking, I wonder if I ran across that guy somewhere. I mean, I haven't been to church or whatever in like, I don't know how long, 20 plus years, whatever. But to know that other people, I run across other people that have that kind of background, not quite like your parents being a Scientologist or something like that or whatever. Or something. But it's interesting online. You meet people from all kind of different avenues and aspects and stuff like that.
Everywhere. Yep.
But yeah, so just like you though, when I heard about Hex, because I heard of it, there's a guy named Stunna Breezy, does like YouTube channels, but he's all over the place with all these different yield token at dApps and different stuff. And I remember him talking about Hex and like, hey guys, you got to get the Hex now. Listen, Richard Hart, I'm telling you. But he and Stunna Breezy, my God, if you're listening to this, no offense, man, but he's all over the place with so many different things. It's kind of like, okay, one more thing he's doing, whatever. And when I connected around the blockchain interview to the Pulsechain sack to back to the Hex, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh crap, man, when I first got into crypto, I heard within the first few months about Hex, but to me it was up there with all the other stuff, and listening to guys like BB. I just don't want to say his name, BitBoy.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Listen to those kind of channels, and it's like, well, wait a minute, but I bought Chainlink, like you said.
Yeah.
Hey, but I bought this and I bought that, and how come I'm not, winning Lambo?
Yeah.
So yeah. So you actually got in after I did, but. And you missed Pulse, which I got my toe in Pulse a little bit. I have to send you some. I have to send you some when it comes out. Get you started. Yeah, it's like hey man, I'll send you 100,000 PLS, man. It's like,
all right,
thanks,
yeah, you heard that.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're gonna send me $10. Oh, thank you. You've saved me, Craig. Well, let me ask you this. Okay, so. And I may have cut you off there because you were telling me stuff that was vibing with what I was already thinking and saying, and I may have cut you off. But so the last you were saying though, you didn't make Pulse, but you made PulseX.
Yep.
And what motivated you to make the channel? You said, I know you said you like to share and help other people.
So I had been. No, that's totally fine. It was Right on cue. The more I basically learned about how amazing like the community is, and how just when you compare what we're dealing with when it comes to Hex, then Pulsechain, and then when I found out about PulseX, I was like, this is the only ecosystem anyone should be paying attention to. Like, in my personal opinion, at least anyways, like this makes the most sense. It seems like the safest place to put your money where you know it's going to grow. You know, you have the founder who is very open. He is the only person in crypto that is like telling it like it is, even if you don't like how it sounds, you know. Everything was just lining up for me where it's just like, people need to know this. And so when I originally started cryptographics, it wasn't actually a YouTube channel. It was originally, I was hanging with a friend, and we were like, we should make a crypto clothing company. And I had the name for cryptographics, right? And
I was going to ask you, I didn't know if maybe you did graphic design or something like that.
No, this is a Fiverr logo. That's all this is. This is the Fiverr turned out really, really well. I love it.
I have a confession to make. I'm glad you confessed first, but my little GenHEX logo that's Fiverr, man. I paid somebody, I think I paid somebody in India like $25 to make me 4 of those, and like transparent and different backgrounds. Yeah.
But they're so good. They're so good.
I think it looks great. Yeah.
I agree.
By the way, I'm just going to tell you this because you're going to end up doing it later. You might as well give Sandy Beach a wrench, because she has a wrench collection. She looks like a janitor at the high school with a key ring. All the wrenches she has for all the rooms she's in. I can tell you some of these people in here right now you can trust with a wrench if you want. Sandy for sure. Heinz Crypto also has a channel.
Let me go throw some wrenches out real quick.
Yeah. Heinz Crypto also is a newly, I'm going to give him a shout out for his channel if you don't mind. Heinz Crypto just started a channel recently. Who else do I know wrenches around here? No, I feel bad if I don't mention somebody. I know Completion Fails is around all over the place.
Let's give some wrenches.
Dougie Peach, here. I see all over the place. Who else is in here? I'm trying to scroll through chat, guys.
I know Heinz is in here all the time.
But Jim Rat Crypto can't have a wrench until he gives me a wrench.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's fair. Well played. Well played.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And then the rest, I'm not sure. Brizology, for sure.
Yeah, Briz got one.
Tin Top
Fails, I think, got one. Yeah.
If I'm missing anybody else in here, please don't hate me. I'm just throwing out people I see like in some of the same chats I'm in, or that are mods in my chat too. So
other than that, we'll toss a few at a time, and then we'll kind of just play it by ear after that.
It'd be fun if you could throw them out there and make them fight for it. Like there's only 3 wrenches, and then whoever makes it out with a wrench in their bloody hand, like
the Hunger Games, but for wrenches.
Or you could do like we did when we tested my stream out last week. We just started giving everybody wrenches. We're like armed society as a polite society.
Yeah, I like that's true. That's a good point. Actually, it's making me want to just start out wrenches to everybody.
Yeah, just everybody. It's like the standoff. Like everybody's like,
yeah, the Spider-Man meme. You seen that? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, Sandy Beach, good people. And she will hit the Russian bots like she's sitting there with a fly swatter just waiting. Russian bot, got him.
All right. Well, I'm gonna add a couple more here. I see a few more people that I almost missed. Let's just do that real quick, and then
and like I said, if I'm trying to scroll on the chat, and if I missed anybody that's deserving of one, I apologize if I didn't shout you out. I love everybody, in case you haven't noticed.
Yeah, if you're here right now, thank you so much. I just checked. We're at 100 live viewers right now. Guys, this is incredible. You guys are all amazing. Thank you for coming and hanging out. We're going to talk crypto very soon here. I just really want to get to know Craig for a moment. Really want to connect a little bit, but we're going to get there. This is a lot of fun. So I guess I'll finish up my story real quick. Just to cap off exactly how it went. And no, it's totally fine. So I started cryptographics as a clothing store. Online. I had these ideas for like Bitcoin and stuff. And I was like, wait a second. And then I decided, so someday I want to do this still. I decided, you know what? I don't want to do just shirts because it's just plain and bland, and everyone does it, and it's just trying to get money, right? So it didn't seem like a good business model anyways. So then I had the idea where I was like, how cool would it be to have like sports jerseys that had Hex or Pulsechain or PulseX on them? And I was like, maybe that would be a cool thing. So I started designing some hockey jerseys and some soccer jerseys and some baseball jerseys. And I was like, you know what? This is what I was going to do. So I built the website, and I was originally going to build the website to fund those projects and to try and, you know, bring that to the community. I thought it was a cool idea the community would like, and it would help me. It'd be cool for them. And as I started getting in to try and learn social media and to try and branch all of that out and try to build it, I started just realizing like, this doesn't seem right to me. Just come in here and try to just shill and try and just like earn money like this. So I was like, okay, hold on. Let me just try and figure out here. How do I play this? And so I was like, I know some stuff about Hex and Pulsechain. What happens if I just start, you know, helping people out, like comment on people's posts and, you know, like, started making blog posts on the website. And once I started going through that and people started to actually like, you know, engage with those, I was like, you know what? I'm actually way less interested in the clothing side of things than I am in making content and educating people, especially because the more I connected with people that would watch when I first started posting and they make a comment or they engage with me on Twitter, I was like, this is way more rewarding than anything that I had ever previously planned to do with cryptographics. And so now it is to where it is, where it's just full-time content creation and trying to get the word out as much as possible and just elevate people to understand what's really going on and the potential for the situation we're about to enter into, and hopefully bring as many people as we can on along for the ride. So it's basically the full story, really.
And it's kind of a time-sensitive thing too. So it's already too late. You can't go back in time. You can't do the Pulse sack. You can't do the PulseX sack, right?
Yeah.
But you could still fill your bags with Hex for the double.
Yep.
And whether you bridge over something, somebody in chat just Dr. Dre D. What's the best way to buy PLS, buy Hex, get the copy, and then swap? Not financial advice. That could be one way to do it. You could wait for the bridge over something that you already have instead of you could swap your copy and bridge over the original and try to see what you can get for it.
Yep.
You could add new fiat and bridge it over. You could get some of the free PLS from like what is it? Free PLS.io?
Freepulse.io, yeah.
Freepulse.io.
Yeah, freepulse.io.
Now here's something some people maybe don't know or forget about. Every ERC 20 that you have in your own wallet, unless it's some garbage trash coin that Richard or the devs don't allow to copy over, you're going to get a copy. If you have ETH, you're only going to get ETH. Ethereum is gas on ETH chain. Pulse is gas on Pulse chain. So you're not going to get a dollar for amount copy of your ETH, right? If you have 5 ETH in your wallet right now, that's great. Congratulations. You're going to get 5 Pulse on the copy.
An example for this too, Vitalik. Exactly. Vitalik Buterin, guys, the founder of Ethereum, holds 300,000 ETH. He's only going to get $30 a Pulse in the copy.
I heard Richard say that, I think. So, so now that's great. He's going to have plenty of Pulse to do transactions with.
Exactly.
When you bump into Vitalik and he's like, "Hey, I just staked my PLSX too." But what I was going to say is, if you have ETH, not financial advice, might not be a bad idea to maybe use some of that ETH to buy some Hex, get your free copy of it, or whatever, pick your flavor, whatever ERC20 you like, but do it and make sure it's in your wallet before the copy, or you're just going to be sitting there with. Now, I don't know if you have 30 ETH in your wallet, are you going to get 30 wrapped ETH or
think how it? It's a good question. I don't think they can. Oh, what did I remember hearing? I'd have to go back and listen to this to answer that properly. I'm gonna have to go look that up again to make sure that it is one or the other. I don't want to give false info.
Because I don't
know if there's
going to be I don't know if there's going to be an ETH on Pulse or only wrapped ETH that gets, or ETH?
I think there's only. I don't think you can get ETH. Yeah, I think it has to get bridged over. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it'll be. Yeah.
Hex HODL saying 30 ETH is just 30 Pulse, so you wouldn't get a copy version of the ETH, but if you bridged over ETH, that it would be wrapped ETH on Pulse. Chat, right. Does that sound right?
I think that's about right. Actually, the more you say that, the more it rings a bell.
Yeah, so it makes sense too.
Yeah,
so
and
it's
I mean,
basically
with the whole ETH thing,
kind of not punishing, but let's not rewarding ETH holders.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not punishing anybody because you're still giving them something for free.
Yeah, 100%. And if you're holding ETH, I mean, the thing is, if you're trying to if you're playing the airdrop at all, right, and you want to actually benefit from the airdrop, you have to look at it from the angle of how can I get the most value out of the airdrop possible? What coin do I need to place it in that is likely to have the most value or be able to be basically as close to 1-to-1 the fastest? Because I mean, as soon as the bridge is confirmed and a trade goes on and there's already pools, everything's going to get value. But could also happen, especially if you're holding ETH, you can put it into SHIB or you could put it in Chainlink. But this is my big thing. The more I think about it, the more this makes the most sense to me. Where should you, if you were to put your money, typically, where would you put it? In the place where it's going to go up the fastest, right? Mm-hmm. So if we treat this like another investment, HEX is more likely in my mind than any other coin to go up the fastest for any PRC20 tokens, because you have the largest, the majority of the community that, or people that know about HEX, Pulsechain, and PulseX and want to come over to participate in that are in HEX, right? So it is more likely that HEX will have an increase in value than any other token off the get-go. People are going to want to come over because, like you were saying, there's a lot of people that can't or don't want to pay the $30 to $1,000 gas fees, right? So they'll just migrate over. And when they migrate, that could push the price of PulseHex up. And if you have your free copies of PulseHex over there and you want to use that to switch it out for Pulsechain or PulseX, you can have not only a free bag, but a bag that just went up by 1 or 2 or however many X's or percent, at the time. So you can buy even more than what your original investment was worth in HEX.
It just made me think of something too by you saying that. Pulse was created for the purpose. Richard wanted to help the HEX community to keep them from getting wrecked with gas fees, right? So he said, you know what? We tried ETH. We gave ETH a shot. ETH is self-destructing itself with these gas fees. Mm-hmm. Screw these guys. I'm making my own, right?
Yep.
So HEX is going to work on Pulse. Pulse was practically built for HEX, right?
Exactly.
It pretty much is. Somebody in chat just asked, Crypto Mike asked about USDC with that copy. Okay. From what I understand, and I hope it's okay, I'm answering questions in your chat here.
Yeah, of course. We've been neglecting the chat anyway, so this is perfect to go back and start, we're not neglecting you guys. I'm so sorry.
We love all you people.
We love all of you.
Guys and girls. Right. My thinking on that is it should copy, yes. Now, if it copies, number one, none of the copied tokens are going to have a dollar value before launch, right? Until price discovery and the bridge and all this stuff. Secondly, I would put my chips in on something is going to be there and it's going to be allowed to be there. If you had 100 grand sitting in USDC and being like, all right, I'm ready for this to go live. I'm going to go in there with all this dry powder. What happens if they shut USDC coin down and don't let it work on Pulse?
Exactly, which they could do.
Because USDC is actually Coinbase's, what do you call coin, right?
Their US dollar.
Isn't it Coinbase that don't they make? Aren't they the ones that mint the USDCs?
Anyway, so answer that question. I'm gonna have to look that up.
So, choose wisely, my friends. What you load up your bag for the double is. HEX is going to be a safe bet. ETH is going to get you diluted. So let's hope that your chain links and your SHIBs and your dogs and all that stuff switch over, right?
Yep, exactly.
So
yeah,
circle.
That's a good point. Let me just
And
catch up with the chat here real quick.
Yep, and Buffo, I believe, said earlier too. Dang it, Buffo. There's so much chat. He said something before that. He said, look at the ERC20s down at on the it's at 1951.23, if that helps scroll down. He said, look at the ERC20s were sacrificed the most. Chances are those communities are going to be the first to come over with liquidity. Yeah. So that's
true.
Also a good plan, I think.
Yeah, it's a very good. And I think that that really should solidify to you. Like if we go there, let's go to that site right now, actually. Let's just, for those of you who don't or haven't seen it yet, let me just open it up. Let's go to Pulse.
How I Made said this topic's been discussed in Telegram. You know what? That's awesome. And a lot of people don't use Telegram. And a lot of people haven't been in Hex or any of this for 8 months. So, you know, what's it hurt if we talk about it again?
Exactly. The thing with this, we're always going to be talking to people who have been in here for a while and people who have been here since yesterday. You know, and there's going to be a balance. We got to be able to talk to those people that have just got in here, and we also going to be able to talk the bigger strats as well. So we're going to what we will talk about in a bit here. I would love to talk about, you know, game theory on PulseX and Pulsechain and how we plan on maybe picking up some, what we think the long-term strategy is, how to make passive income with either Pulse or PulseX, maybe use Pulse or PulseX to get Hex. But for now, let's just touch on this real quick, just to make sure anyone who is in here who's new understands the size of each community that is going to be participating in the airdrop. So real quick here, number one, obviously, so we got Hex is double Ethereum. So we got a lot of ETH boys and girls and people that are going to be coming over from Ethereum. That could be any token, to be honest. It may be Ethereum that's get bridged. It could be anything. And then if you go past all the stable coins, the next is Polygon, SHIB, Bitcoin. I mean, if this isn't a big hello to you guys about that don't understand which coin is going quickly on Pulsechain, I'd say this should be a pretty damn good indicator here, seeing the 555 million already sacrificed for Hex. Not any other coin wouldn't be a good invest. Just really think about where you want to place your money. You know, especially we're on the upside. We're looking at the upside of Hex at the moment. It seems like Hex is doing well. It seems like a good spot to park it for now, at least, you know? And...
Well, it's been on a dip, right? So I think I was talking about this in one of the first videos I made. I've only made like 4. So
right.
It wouldn't be too hard to find it. But when is the best time to buy Hex? And granted, now we know there's some people that have got into this. They're interested in Pulse and PulseX, have no interest in Hex for whatever reason. They heard bad stuff about it, which just baffles me. It's like, so you're going to take a successful product that's worked for over 2 years that people have literally gotten stupid rich off of. You're going to throw that out the window, but you're all about jumping in on this new chain, this new network by the same guy that just created this other thing. If you're all in on that, why would you not take advantage of what's going on with Hex right now? It's all-time high, then it dipped. You're about to get a double on it. It's gone up a couple cents here in the last week or so, but it's still like way low. And people are funny like that. They'll be like, oh, you know, if you told them the day of the launch, if you knew what it was going to be and you said, okay, this day is going to be the launch, then they'd be over there filling up their bags with it.
Yep.
And it kills me when I see that price. It's like, hey, look, it hit 16 cents. And then immediately, boom, somebody sold a bunch of it. It's like, dude, it's going up. You're an idiot. Why? Unless it's bots doing it, right? Where people think they're going to jump in and out of it and make that quick buck. But it's like, load up next week, load up some more. The next week, load up, because here pretty soon the fork's going to happen. And then everything you buy of Hex on one chain or the other is only the single quantity you're getting. Sorry, I bumped the mic. Hope that didn't break everybody's eardrums.
Yeah, you're gonna get caught with your pants down.
Right now,
move quick.
Today is the best time, and these people waiting for 8 cents again or 5 cents or whatever ain't gonna happen. No, not financial advice. I'm not a whatever. I'm telling you, I'll eat my hat.
Yep. That makes two of us. We'll both eat our hats on stream.
Maybe not this hat because I just got it. Literally, it's I like it though. Look, it's got like the Hex and Pulse logos.
It's like almost like a yin yang kind of pulse. I actually really like that. I noticed at the beginning of the stream. It's super cool. I love it.
Yeah, it's got like
also
hex.com and pulse.com on the sides too.
I love it. Hey, real quick, I'm just making sure here, guys. Guys, you're in the chat. I think I fixed my mic. I turned it down. It shouldn't be clipping anymore. So just drop a message for me in the chat and let me know if it's still clipping. And then
it was clipping a little bit earlier, but I didn't say anything because I thought it was me because I just got this headset a couple of days ago and I thought maybe it was my Bluetooth.
No, I have a really it's for this microphone. I have to be right on top of it, and I have to be consistent with it. Or if I increase my volume, it starts to clip. I have to be really sensitive. So okay,
yeah. See, if I get too close to mine, it sounds like I need to start popping bubble wrap and rubbing velvet or something. Whatever they do,
doing some of the ASMR stuff. Yeah,
that drives me crazy.
All
it's
right,
like listening
Craig,
to somebody talk when they're chewing food.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I want to know, Craig. Okay, so your strategy is going into Pulsechain, but because obviously we know about PulseX, there is the staking pool. There's also farms that we could talk about as well. But between Pulse and PulseX, what is your strategy to utilize those coins to make either rewards or incentive token, or passive income off? What's your strategy?
The easy one is PulseX, right?
Right.
Single pool staking all day long for whatever that party token ends up being, or whatever they decide that third party. I guess the PRT is the placeholder for the third party token that has yet to be decided. Or maybe there'll be more than one. Maybe you can stake PLSX for this coin or this pool or this pool. Maybe there'll be multiple pools, but
which I think is pretty likely, actually.
I don't see why not. And then they would have different APRs, right? So maybe people go in heavy because one maybe gives you Hex and another one gives you whatever. I don't know. Who knows what they're going to be? But maybe they compete with each other. So maybe you stake your PulseX here, and then maybe next week you look at it again and you move it to here. So I think, not financial advice, my own strategy, probably all in on my PLSX into single pools. That's me.
So can I ask you though? I want to ask you. So what do you think then? Why wouldn't you, just so the people who are watching know why you're not doing the any liquidity providing? Why aren't you doing that?
Well, first of all, I'm still, remember, I'm a little, whatever's below a minnow, the little plankton.
Right.
Whatever the minnows eat, I'm still down there. Yeah. Also, I'm not so much worried about impermanent loss with the liquidity pair with something like, Pulse and PulseX together, or even if there ends up being a stable coin that somebody pairs with something, or even Hex, P-Hex and E-Hex and stuff like that. Me personally, I just don't want the stress, man. I want the easy single pool, set it, forget it, like the little chicken you put in a little rotisserie and you just walk away and you know you're not going to burn the house down, hopefully. Yep. I don't, probably if I wanted to mess with it more, I might at least look at like a PulseX PLS liquidity pair. But, and then who knows what other pairs are going to be on there, right? As far as for farming. And what's the reward for it? Is it going to be the incentive, the INC, whatever that placeholder is for? What is that going to be? So it may just depend on what it is. I am not in the least bit concerned about any kind of a rug pull after everything we've gone to get to this point. The last thing in the world I would ever worry about is PulseX exchange to rug pull everything I've dumped into it. Not worried at all. So definitely, I think, me personally, I'd go the safe route. Single pool PulseX. The trick's going to be my PLS. What am I going to do with it? Originally, I thought, okay, I'm just going to find a validator that looks trustworthy. David Fetter, Hodl Dog, one of these guys. If I have enough to get in their pool, to get a slice of the pie, because some of those pools are going to be pretty big, and you're going to have a certain amount to even get any yield.
Totally.
I thought about, and can I mention other? You care what projects I talk about?
We could talk about whatever. No, as long as we're not shilling too hard. Like I'd like to keep things richer, like RH eccentric, just so that way we're not tiptoeing outside this.
Rip off my shirt and said "Liquid Loans" tattoo across. No regrets. Liquid Loans. No. Yeah. So I think another strategy you could look into, again, not financial advice, do your own research, all that stuff. Yep. Maybe if you're not interested in doing the whole loan thing with Liquid Loans, maybe look at the option of if there's some kind of a staking or something. I'm not sure yet. I've seen a few videos and I guess I didn't listen hard enough, but if there's some other option of staking the PLS to get some other kind of yield, because it looks like the validators, it doesn't look like you're going to be getting a whole lot of yield back on that. And by no means, I'm not telling people not to stake with validators, because it's probably what I'm going to end up doing, because it's kind of the safer route. But
I agree with that for sure.
Otherwise, I dipped my toe into a couple other sacrifices. I know some people don't like to talk about anything sacrifices that weren't Richard Hart sacrifices. You're like, don't say that word, right? But there's other projects, and like it or not, they're going to happen. They're going to exist in Power City, Liquid Loans, Mintra.
There's plenty of
Internet Money. If you sack for some of this other stuff, hey, I think stake everything you can stake if it seems safe and it seems legit. Get those yields every day, and then exchange it for whatever you want. You're lacking some PLS, buy more PLS. You want to get more PLSX, you want to buy more and more and more of that while the whole thing's starting up before it really ramps up. Or there's some other kind of project. Oxwell's mentioned Maximus. I heard Wells mention Maximus today.
Yeah, I heard those guys too. It's an interesting actually.
1 for 1, yeah. Into it. So I mean, there's like it or not.
I'm not opposed. Yeah, I'm not opposed to any. In fact, the reason I am Richard Hart centric is because those are the only ones I believe in at the moment. I am looking and always open and wanting to hear about new things. A lot of these things I just don't know enough about yet. And the last thing I want to do is talk about something I don't know about that ends up being something that's not good for the people that are watching the show or for watching the content. Only reason why I won't talk about stuff until I understand it. Maybe there'll be streams where I bring people on and talk about and ask questions and we all learn together. But until then, I just don't even want to go there, you know?
Yeah, you don't want to. Somebody might only catch a snippet of your video and they hear you mention it, like, oh, well, he mentioned it, must be okay. And then they get wrecked on it. And then you're like, hey, I just said the name, man. Excuse me. Sorry. Somebody just said something about, so there's Liquid Loans people in here that are sacked in it. But here's my thing. Here's my thinking in general, right? Crypto in general, not just crypto, your life, everything from what kind of milk is in your refrigerator and how much water it takes to make that milk. I don't care. That's your business. What's in my refrigerator is my business. Exactly. What you did with your money, what you sacked for, what you're investing in, that's none of my business.
Yep.
The sooner people in Hex and Pulse and Pulsechain and crypto learn, mind your own damn business. You don't want to sack for it. You don't want to invest in it. You don't want to do it. Don't. You don't want to talk about it on your YouTube channel? Great. If you want to talk about it, nobody else wants to talk about it, go make a YouTube channel and sit there all day going Hedron, or whatever. I don't care.
Exactly.
I'm gonna invest in what I feel safe doing. And you can do the same. And if you're doing something, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna stay away from it. And I might say, hey man, check this out or read this or something. Maybe because if I'm your friend, I might just try to give you friendly heads up. Besides that, if you go, nope, I've checked it out, I'm down with it. Good luck to you, buddy.
Yep.
Your money.
Yep.
You pay your bills. I pay my bills. Unless you start paying my bills, you tell me what to do with my money. And
100%.
And I think there'll be a lot less toxicity, bickering, dumb shit. Sorry, on in the community, if everybody would just mind your, and that goes for life in general, man. If your neighbor's doing something, and unless it's injuring or hurting you or lowering the price of your house or something, let them. They want to smoke next door. Let them smoke. You know what I'm saying?
It's their business. It's their business.
I'm saying. People nowadays, I don't know why everybody's in everybody's business about everything. Just mind your own business. Yeah, take care of your family. Take care of your health. Take care of your own money. I just kind of. Did I just go on a tangent?
No, you went on a great tangent because I agree with everything you said. No, it's the rant everyone needs to hear who hasn't heard it yet. Honestly,
everyone me take the fall. Let the new guy take the fall. If they cancel me, nobody knew I was here anyway. Mind your own damn business.
Mind your own damn business. It's been so prominent though is the thing. The reason why I think it needs to be said. It's over the past few months it's been coming up more and more and more, especially as like with Hex being down, especially in the community with Hex being down, and see people who have made it. They're doing stuff with their money, and people are getting upset, and it's just like everyone settle down. It's their life. You got to take care of yourself and worry about yourself. The more we do that, the less it just. The more happy somebody was, they'll stop paying attention to
if somebody was rolling up in here with some kind of a project or product and it was wrecking the rest of us, like it was ruining the reputation of Pulsechain and Richard Hart because it was something that, it's probably going to happen anyway. There's going to be some trolley DApp come on here and people are going to get wrecked on it because it's on Pulsechain, just like it happened on Polygon, just like it happens on Binance and Avalanche and all these other things. Those locusts, like I talked about before, they will show up. And I may have defined locusts wrong. I was referring to like the sites, the apps, the token miners and all that stuff. There's also people that are whales that are considered like locusts too. They come in, hit one of those dApps hard, suck it dry, and then move on to the next one with the high APR. And all the little guys are the ones that are the little soldiers laying, in the wake of that.
Right. Yeah.
So
I agree. Let's just, what we should do here. I'm realizing not to steer too far off here. Yeah, we've said now twice. I apologize. We're coming back. We're gonna start paying attention more to you. Okay.
We're having a good conversation, I think, though.
This is a great conversation. In the back of my mind, it's been getting louder and louder and louder, and I'm starting to realize, okay, I got to pay a little bit of attention to you guys here. So, guys, for one, if you're still here and you're still listening to us, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys coming and checking us out. If you haven't already, like the video. If you're enjoying this, go to GenHEX's YouTube channel, and I will drop a link in the chat, and we will get him some subscriptions. Guys, go sub to his channel. If you haven't subbed to this one as well and you want to see more streams like this, please subscribe. And all right, what is the one thing, and if you're in the chat and you want to know something right now, we're going to open up the chat to questions. So if you guys have anything you'd like to know specifically, please drop us a message and answer your questions. Let's just go through and make sure we didn't miss anything.
And just to save time, I'm a Libra. I like long walks on the beach. And
perfect.
must love dogs. There. That
must love. Okay. Well, I'm a Capricorn, so I'm super chill with just about everything. So,
is that the goat, the ram?
I actually don't know. I've paid like this much attention to it, just enough to know that I'm a Capricorn, and my sister told me I'm a Mars in Cancer, and that's.
I only knew I was a Libra because somebody asked me, and then they're like, "Oh, that makes sense. You know how to talk to people, and Libras are good mediators." And I'm like, I'm like this. She's like, "See, you just did the sign of the scale," and I'm like,
"Oh my."
I don't know. I was like, okay.
But the thing is like, there's so much of those like, and I mean, now I'm gonna go on a limb here and say something that might not be 100% true because I haven't paid enough attention to it to fully understand. But it seems to an outsider that there's so many generalistic things attached to these astrological ideas, that as soon as it's like almost like palm reading, you say something vague enough for the person, then like confirmation bias hears that, it's like, oh yeah, it's totally me. I hear that, and it's just.
I think if you go to like palm reading college, or you're probably not old enough to remember there used to be these commercials on late night where you'd call like 800 or 900 number to get to talk to some lady that would do your fortune. What was it? I can't think.
No, it definitely didn't.
Oh yeah, this lady. She had a big like towel wrap thing on her head, and she. Oh man, what was her name? Years ago. Anyway, but yes, it's like these vague kind of sort of. It's like you can almost talk to anybody. It's like, okay, number one, you're calling in this show because there's something you feel desperate enough to know that you're calling in, right?
Right.
Something important. Just there's an important decision you need to make. Yes, there is. You're struggling with something right now, and there's a decision. Oh my God, how did you know? It's like because that's literally everybody that would call into a show is. I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent this week. My girlfriend just left me. My dog just ran away. Whatever, right? It's like a country western song. Name, fill in the blank. And you could probably read my palm and tell me. It's like, what do you tell by my palm? Well, I could tell you've had hand surgery. Yes. Yeah. How did you know? Well, you have scars on your hand from where they cut you. You know
exactly.
And I have this giant knot on my wrist from when I cracked my wrist against a piece of concrete once. Miss Chloe, thank you, chat. Sorry, I'm doing it again. See, this is good though, because we are having this conversation that has been flowing, I feel, fairly well to where as much as we love them, we forgot about chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like it's like we're sitting on your back porch, like drinking a beer, like, yeah, what do you think of crypto?
I agree. I think that these streams are great. More comes out of them. It's like if it's too rigid. I mean, this is the one thing. I have a podcast as well that I paused to focus on this, but the one thing I hated so much about the podcast was having such a structured, rigid type of conversation that you never really get anywhere with it. And I like the free flow kind of stuff. So chat, if you're in here and we're just kind of flowing, I'm sorry. We're gonna come back to you, but it's great to just go on these. No, it's, you know what, these are fun. And you know what, though,
we should do this.
People are enjoying
we should do this on the reg, man. I don't know.
I agree. I think it would be really cool to do this. We definitely are vibing. This is a great conversation. And the chat I really enjoy it as well. I am all for that. Scroll back here real quick and make sure we didn't miss anything.
And you're gonna have to name your next pet Miss Cleo.
Okay, fair. Is that what the consensus is?
That's what the lady's name was. It was Miss Cleo. If you know what, you could probably find out on YouTube. I bet you there's clips of the old commercials. I want to say early 90s, maybe.
Early 90s.
Definitely in the 90s, I think.
I don't even know what I would search for that, but
they were just like these infomercials that you could call it. And I don't remember if they actually did this show where people called in, but I know it's definitely an infomercial.
Okay. You know, I might have to go do some searching for that. You know what though? I just see a question that popped up in the chat. Let's talk about stable coins for a second. And you know, to be honest, on this front here, I really haven't gone off the deep end, and I've needed to go off the deep end to figure out exactly what the potential is for all the stable coins in being able to be bridged over or to have copies and whatnot. But what are your thoughts on, and what have you seen? What have you learned so far? And what are the things you don't know yet about the whole stablecoin situation, if any, between DAI, USDT, and USDC?
Okay. Stable coins are supposed to peg at $1, right?
Yeah. And I should say in regards to the bridge and the copies and all of that. Yeah.
So if you bridged in a perfect scenario, and I'm not an expert on this, but in my thought process, how I think of it, if you bridged over a stable, it should still hold a value of $1 because there's a placeholder for it on the other network that it was bridged from, right? That's how that kind of works. So bridging over a stable, I would think it should still hold its peg at $1. But once that's paired to another coin that's a new zero value coin, it should start adding to the that price discovery and the value of it. So I'm not sure what's going to end up being the actual the most common stable peg to $1 stable coin on Pulsechain. I hope it happens sooner than later because I think we're gonna need that. And again, I'm not an expert on this, but the sooner we get an actual stable on Pulsechain that stays true to the dollar, And if you ever watch stable coins on the graphs, like if you go to look at the price, like right now, if you were to look at the price of BUSD or USDC or Tether or whatever, you'll notice that they don't just set, they're like $1, always $1. Sometimes they'll show as 98 cents or $1.01 or $1.02. So
yeah, they fluctuate a tiny bit, right?
Tiny bit, yeah. But I've seen other projects that tried to create their own sort of stable coin that was supposed to peg at $1, like B Dollar did that. One of those things I checked out a long time ago. So the premise of that was you buy B Dollar, you stake it, you got some sort of a reward token for staking it. If it came off peg, then they sold bonds that you could trade for the bonds, and then the bonds value, you can end up selling them off, and the more those got sold off, it helped the peg for the I can't remember the exact mechanics how it worked, but it's supposed to be this algorithmic stability for stablecoin that was supposed to stay pegged at $1. So in theory, you could buy them, stake them, use them. If it slipped, the bonds were there, so people could actually make profit off doing the bonds. And it still tanked. It still eventually tanked because there was the mechanics of it were not flawless. So I'm sorry, I'm drifting over into this other story, but
no, that's totally fine.
But yeah, so I would be careful. Again, do your own research, not financial advice. Be careful about filling up bags of stables, hoping to get the copy. But at the same time, what's the worst that happens? You fill up some stable bags on ETH. They don't copy. You can still bridge that over, right? It's not like you're going to lose it because you put you put all your money in USDC. You're just not going to take advantage of that copy of it, right? So,
and one thing on that note that I was thinking while you were talking there, I was thinking we should almost talk real quick when it comes to bridging stuff over too. So when Pulsechain is launched, there's going to be a lot of pools that are copied over and will be sitting there waiting to be used in PulseX already, right? And a lot of these USDC and whatever pairs will be, if there's Ethan, they'll be flipped to Pulsechain, and then they'll have the multiplier that goes on them to, make the pool inflate properly so the ratios are proper. So when this is how it's working, at least in my mind anyways, as soon as that first trade comes over, you bridge something, and then someone creates a pair and trades with either HEX or SHIB or anything at all, that one token gets value. If HEX is the token, let's say for this example, you will have, I think there's a dozen or half a dozen major liquidity pools that HEX is in, that's tied to USDC, ETH, Hedron, and so on, right? Those guys are going to get price discovered as well at that moment, because the first trade happens, that first ratio happens, right? Should be price discovery. And if the price should be at parity, because Pulse and there'll be no ratio on that. So basically someone will have to come over, create that ratio. It'll be 1-to-1 almost. When someone puts the EHEX in, right? Someone will have to, that one side will inflate a little bit, meaning EHEX will go down a tiny bit. PulseHEX will go up a tiny bit, right? And when that price discovery happens, every pool that HEX is attached to is also going to get a dollar value. And every coin that's in that pool, that's then in other pools, is going to be an instantaneous thing that is going to go chain wide, literally through an instant. It takes one coin to have price discovery, and everything will have price. So yeah, these US dollar coins. Oh, okay. Oh, if you have something, go ahead there, Craig.
No, I was just going to slip in there too. Yes, they could open up the bridge, and for some freakish reason, nobody can bridge anything open except for you. Right. And you send over X amount of dollars of so-and-so to make a liquidity pool. And we could all be sitting there looking at PulseX going, what's going on? All the numbers are changing and everything else. And that's great. But as soon as other people were involved, or if this all happened at once, as soon as other people start swapping and trading and whatever, all that ripple effect, like the butterfly effect, right? all those other effects start happening. This guy just said, oh, that's got a value now. I've got a bunch of those. I want to swap that for hex. Oh, this has got this. And it's just this huge, it's like, you ever see the video where, or the things where like there's a floor covered in mouse traps and somebody throws like one ping pong ball out there. They just, and if you're from the South and you know what a cricket spider is and you've ever crawled under a house and set them off. Yeah. Thank goodness they don't, they're harmless. Yeah. They're blind, 8-legged cricket things that live under houses. You go down there with a flashlight and you're crawling around. And once you stir them up, as soon as they start jumping, then they all start jumping and then they're all over you. And you're like, yeah,
well, that's hilarious.
Not me, of course. I was completely not crying like a baby and wetting myself.
Get off.
With somebody else. I heard a story about it. That's what I'm saying. Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that chain reaction, you're right. And who knows the potential, what's going to happen with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
The bag, whatever people bridge over, whatever people have liquid in their wallets that get copied, how many people have even heard of Pulse yet to go get their free copy or to know to bridge or to go try to do anything with it? There is going to be this explosion of activity that's going to happen. I feel like lit now from My Life is Awesome. You know, need to have some sound effects or something. But when this floodgate opens, anybody to sit and predict anything, you know what? I hope you're right. Whoever said that earlier, I hope PLSX, I hope PulseX is $2.54 after 2 weeks. I hope it is.
Oh, I missed that comment. I hope so too. Holy.
Yeah. My brain can't fathom those numbers because I know how much PulseX I have, and I know how much that would mean I would have in my life, and I don't know if that's ever possible.
Yeah, I know, right? Such a strange, obscure thought.
I would probably just have a stroke, and nobody has my seed phrase, so the money would just go with me, I guess.
Yeah, like that's just so much money.
Maybe
That's
I should write a note.
25,400x if it's $2.50.
That is dumb. That means that anybody that even like sacked $100 would be a millionaire. Probably less than that. I don't even know.
If you sacked 100, well, no, if you sack $100, when it gets to $1, you have $1 million USD. So you have 2.54 million USD.
So your daughter sold some Girl Scout cookies, and she took her $10, and she had you sack it, and now your daughter's a millionaire.
For $10, I think you'd be $100,000.
Was it okay?
And at $2.50, she'd have for the Girl Scout cookie, she'd have $254,000, I believe.
Okay, still a lot of money for a kid. She could live like a millionaire. She could live like a millionaire if she's like 11.
That's just
yeah.
My God, that's such a cool thought, though.
You know what? And no offense to anybody that's like, you know, when Rolex, when Lambo. I'm like, when medical bills paid off, when vet bill paid off, when credit cards paid off. You know what I'm saying? When
exactly.
When can I upgrade from my 1996 Blazer?
Yeah.
I had I should have included this in my story. I had a 2020 Camry SE, brand new. I had it for a year and a half. It had less than 800 miles on it because I drive my work truck to work and home. On the weekends, I would look for reasons to go drive my Camry. Beautiful car, black SE, blah, blah, blah.
Yep. Beautiful.
Right now, new and used car prices are just like everything else. They're just outrageously stupid, crazy prices.
Just nuts.
I got paid, local car dealership. They wrote me a check for that car. It was $1,000 more than sticker was on it originally. It was $2,000 more than I paid for it. And my payoff was, let's just say I sold it to the dealership and actually made money on a used car.
I believe I'm hearing that from everybody that does that.
And
it's crazy.
And I forgot to mention that some of that money went towards the sack stuff too. Yeah.
That's perfect timing for that.
I was fortunate that I pulled that. I used a little bit of it to go get another vehicle. Like I got this little hoopty old Blazer sitting in the driveway, but it gets me to this vet for my dog and different stuff when I'm not working. Right. And I'm not telling anybody to go out there and sell your car, but if you got an extra car sitting around, if you got mom's old car and she can't drive anymore and it's sitting behind the garage, I'm telling you,
Exactly.
sell it now. Crazy prices.
Priorities.
Anyway,
So, that's a good point, though. That's a good point.
There's times where I get in that Blazer and I'm headed to this grocery store or something, you know, and I'm just like, man, I miss my Camry. And I'm like, you know what? But I don't miss that freaking car payment every month.
Yes.
Because that car payment, guess where it's going right now? In my little DCA hands. And the little lettuce hands that I had a year ago when I was like, oh, this is going down, I better sell it. Oh, it's going back up, I better buy more. Oh, wait. And then I turn around and you're like digging a hole in the sand.
Oh, exactly.
So I went from the lettuce to, you know,
you got to figure out what your priorities are. And if you do see something as big as Hex, Pulsechain, and PulseX in front of you, well, you know what? A little bit of pain, if it's even that, or a little bit of sacrifice, no pun intended, for a long-term gain. I mean, to me, I did that. I did a little bit of that too. Not as quite as big as the car, but still, you know, I think that everyone should consider what they can. If you don't have the money from work or from anything else, and you have something you could sell and it just sit there, or you could do second car. Not financial advice, for sure.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. Where you live now, how long have you lived there?
I have lived here for town, or where I'm currently
your current apartment, house, whatever you're in.
Since January or February. Yeah, middle of January.
When you moved from wherever you were the last time to there, how much shit did you have? Did you find out? Oh, you didn't?
More than I ever expected.
Well, I've always noticed, and sorry to cuss, I hope I didn't get you demonetized or something.
No.
I said SHIB. How much SHIB that's what I said. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a crypto thing, man. Come on, YouTube, get off my back.
Yeah, come on.
No, so what I've noticed over the years is you move into a place, and sometimes you move into another place because you need more room, right? You got another kid or something. Last couple times I've moved, I've had these like totes. Like there's actually one right behind me on the floor.
Yep, I have like 4 of them in my cupboard as well that I use. Yeah.
And I would go to move, and I was like, "Where's those totes?" And I would go to grab a tote. It's like, "Oh, there's still stuff in here." And I'd open it up, like, "Oh, that's where all that crap went." Yeah. So sometimes you've got a lot more stuff than you realize. If you haven't worn something, unless it's a throwback vintage team jersey or something, or your skiing stuff that you haven't got out because you haven't been skiing, whatever, fishing gear or something.
Yeah.
But if you've got stuff in boxes that aren't like collectibles or something, if you have a motorcycle, sorry guys, if you have a motorcycle in the garage and you have not started it in so long it ain't gonna start, you got money for Hex.
Yeah.
You just ain't looking in the right place for it.
Even if it's $1,000 or $500.
Have you looked under the couch cushions for spare change? No, okay, I haven't done that yet. I haven't been that desperate for Hex, but what I'm saying is,
a little while. I have been there though. It's like, oh God, do I have any money in there?
sometimes you've got a closet full of stuff you just don't realize. And you know what's really going right now? Like, if you want to mess with it, like eBay and stuff, cameras, especially like what do you call like mirrored cameras and stuff. Anything with technology that's not so far out of date that, you know, stuff you could still buy like new, but you have one that's not new. Anything electronic microchip, that stuff that's stuck on a ship out in some port somewhere, and somebody's going to pay $600 or $800 for brand new, and you've got one sitting in a box you haven't used, dude. There's $400, $500 right there.
Why wouldn't you take
that?
If
you want it bad enough, you'll find some stuff to unload. And guess what?
Oh.
Later in a year or two, you can get another camera. You probably get a lot nicer camera because you're going to have a lot. That $500 for that camera could make you. I'd say this a lot too.
For damn sure.
Do you really think that Hex, 2 years from now, if you were to jump in a DeLorean, go 2 years from now and look at the Hex price, do you really think it's going to be 15 cents?
If anyone in the chat answers yes, we need to have a long discussion with you.
Yeah. So if you think it's going to be Even okay, let's say it is 15 cents. So whatever it is right now. What is it right now?
I think it's like 16 here. Let's pull up for everyone to see at all the same time here. So Chrome tab, PulseX.
We're gonna crash. I don't know where you're looking, but
let's go to. I'm just gonna go trading view. I always go to trading view.
The guy on the left is cute. That must be you. Hey, now I'm on the left. Yes. Gotcha. Haha, Thea. How you like that? Ah, I'm on the left.
Nice little switch for that. Well played, Craig. Well played. Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, that's hilarious. Where's that one?
I'm like almost 50. I'm not supposed to be cute anymore. Okay.
All right. I think I got. What are we at here? I went away from the trading view.
You were looking up hex. I'm showing 15.47 on Coin Greco.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too. Okay, hold on. So what I'm seeing is we're doing a kind of bull flag thing here, and we're just going straight up after that. That's my TA.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So my point is this: if you were to take, let's play a fun game if you want. If you were to take $200 right now, I would say the average person, you find some old baseball cards, something you could probably, if you had to in a pinch, scrape up a couple $100, right? You don't have to be rich, but even if you're like paycheck to paycheck, I mean, $200 now when it takes over 100 to fill up a gas tank in a full size truck, right? $200. So, like Kareem would say, quick maths, guys. $200 right now would get you how many hex? Get on a calculator here because I'm not doing that math in my head. Let's just call it 15 cents to be fun.
Yep.
So $200 divided by 15 cents. 1,333 hex. So if you bought $200, if you bought 1,333 hex right now, and then you staked it today, I suggest you wait till gas prices are like later in the evening, whatever. But
absolutely.
So you're out $200 plus gas to stake. Now, when Pulse copies, you're gonna have a copy of that stake, right? Depending on if you go to Hedron website and claim for the current multiplier bonus, you're going to be accruing Hedron for that stake. You're going to get a copy of that Hedron on Pulsechain. You stake that for even 2 years. If you come back in 2 years and Hex on Pulsechain and Hex on Ethereum are both still 15 cents, guess what? You're still going to get all the Hex yield on both stakes. You're going to get all that Hedron on both stakes. And even if your little Hexies that are sitting there for 2 years are still worth the same as what you paid for them, you still made more, even after paying gas fees, than you would if you take that $200 cash in your hand and hide it under your pillow right now and leave it there for 2 years, which would be kind of gross because you really should, like, change your bedclothes every once in a while. Just saying. do your own research, not hygienic advice. But what I'm saying is cash in a savings account or cash under your mattress 2 years from now, do you think a can of soup is going to be the same in 2 years as it is now? Do you think that, name your thing, fill in the blank, whatever you want to buy for $200. So why, in that case, why would you not put it in something that you believe in? If you don't believe in it, and you don't think it's going to be the same or more, then what are you doing here? Well, unless you're brand new and you're like, hey, what's this all about, right?
It's a fair point. Exactly.
Which goes back to my first question. Do you truly think Hex will still be 15 cents in 2 years? And if your answer is no, it's going to be much higher. That's even more reason to do everything we just said. Time sensitive right now before launch. If you can do it, do it. Go print out your card. It's springtime anyway.
What I'll say for everyone in the chat, exactly. Well, and what I'll say is for those of you who want to understand just how much you can make on just a penny increase over a 2 year stake, go to, I'll type in the chat here. And actually, before we do this, I want to just say thank you so much. We got our first super chat on the channel, $5, TDM10. Thank you so much for the $5. That's incredible. I really appreciate that. So
awesome. it's
we'll
Canadian.
come back.
That's less, right?
That's true. No, that's $5 for me. That's amazing. I'm like, okay, yeah, nice. That's
okay. No, this. I like this game. So if they tip in Canadian, you get it. If they tip in USD, I get it.
Oh, I don't like the rules of this game anymore.
Oh man.
Because I'm the host, can I rewrite the rules?
It is your channel, so technically I should just take my shout outs and be happy. Sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
you gotta know.
I've been humbled,
Craig. You gotta know your place.
Sorry. I have been to Canada once,
this question
so
real quick, though.
Yeah,
Canada's great. I mean, I've been to the States. I can say likewise. I honestly, in some ways, prefer the States, but that's a whole nother discussion. So before we get too carried away, can Pulse do a 5,000X? I would even add to that question, if we're going to answer it, how? So Craig, I'll let you start off. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because the once it opens, number one, it's deflationary.
Yep.
Once Pulse launch happens and all PLS that's minted, that's ever going to be minted, as it gets as the transactions happen, as it gets burnt, it's only going to get more rare. So it's gonna eventually be more and more and more and more scarce. Now, it's such a very small amount of money per transaction, considering the price of Pulse and the percentage of how much will be burnt, but it's still progressive. It's still happening. The more people that find out about it, the more users, the more transactions, the more dApps that come over, the more NFTs that are done. People talk ill of some of these different projects. If they're not hurting the ecosystem and they're not hurting you, zip it, back away from the computer, let them run its course, because every transaction, whether you're involved with it or not, is burning PLS.
Everyone.
Burning PLS is pumping your bags. So can it do it? Absolutely. How long is it going to take to do it? Who knows? It depends on adoption and usage, and there may be more of these NFT type things that and it may go up a lot faster than you think.
That's true. This trading might be a big trigger for a lot more transactions than we expect. A lot of smaller players with smaller NFTs, maybe a lot of NFT startups that we may or may not like. Whether we like them or not, they may come over and they may go crazy with the amount of transactions they do, right? And the thing is that you touched on is when those transactions happen, it's not just it's literally buying the PulseX every single time. So for TDM 10 or anyone who is kind of wondering this question on what PulseX could do, go and watch my video titled PulseX Buy and Burn, and its effects on price, because that'll show you just what price will want to do, the pressure, because PulseX is designed with pressure built in. And what I mean by that is every time someone makes a transaction, that is the internal system that PulseX has in it trying to push it up a little bit. So that means if it does push it up, we're getting actual price performance out of that. If someone's selling, we're getting a hedge against those sellers as well. It's built in pumpamentals, if you will, to help the price move in one direction. And if you watch that video, you'll see the deflationary aspect of that over time will compensate where that tapers off, because as time goes on, those buys are going to buy less and less PulseX, right? Because if the volume stays the same, essentially this that you get per dollar will be going down, right? That pressure will slowly be getting limited and plateauing, but then the deflationary aspect of PulseX over time will be adding that pressure, because less and less PulseX can make it into the liquidity pools, right? So PulseX is actually quite a crazy innovation in a token for a decentralized exchange. It's pretty nuts. And I think I don't like putting predictions out there, but I'll say I think that 5,000X would be, for me, in let's say a 2 to 5 year span, conservative.
That would be very conservative. And I just realized something because I saw the question on your screen that he was asking PulseX and I was talking Pulsechain. But
oh, right, you're right. Okay.
Technically, almost everything I said was still in the same bandwidth of what I would have said for PulseX, because Pulsechain gets burned a percentage of that for transactions. PLSX with the buy and burn for transactions on the exchange. Same deal either way. There's going to be transactions, whether you're sending something from wallet to wallet or contract to contract, whatever. And then there's going to be exchange, because every time you do something, you're doing it for a reason. And whatever yield you get from that, you're going to be putting in it in liquidity pools. You're going to be exchanging it for other stuff. PulseX. In my mind, for some reason, I visualize like, oh, hey, I'll use a Canada reference. Canadian reference. So like two lumberjacks, they got one of those big saws with a handle on each end, and one goes this way and one goes that way. When the other guy's pulling, you're not pushing. You're holding on to it, right? His momentum pulls the teeth across it. You pull it back. You're not trying to push that saw across, right? PulseX.
You know, I love that analogy.
I love that. Like a machine all day long. People in and out. Like one of those little Saturday morning cartoon videos with all the stuff going up and down the conveyor belts and all stuff. It's a machine moving, and it's 24/7 while you're sleeping.
Constantly.
Not financial advice. Do your own research. Don't sell your Pulse. Don't sell your PulseX.
Yep.
Put a reminder on your phone for 5 years from now or 2 years from now, like, hey, let's talk about maybe selling again. I think, and even at that, though, like,
I was gonna say, even at that, we like selling it. The thing is, because of the staking pool, like you could literally live off your rewards if you play your cards right, because you could be fattening your bag of PulseX the whole time with the reward system in the single-sided staking. And once your PulseX, let's just for only using PulseX, right? In this scenario, there's no hex, no Pulsechain, you only have PulseX. If you fatten your bag up enough, at some point, all the rewards that you have, it almost acts like hex in a way, where you're constantly producing yield day in, day out, but you get to cash out whenever you want. And so you could have monthly income. You could have daily income. You could sell it whenever you want, and your golden goose is never touched. It's such a cool coin. And I think the big difference for me with PulseX and Pulsechain is that they're kind of inverted in their performance. For me, PulseX is going to go like towards the moon as fast as possible and slowly slow down over time. But Pulsechain, I think, is going to start a little, well, it's going to go up very fast first, I think. In the initial month, I think it's going to go crazy. I think everything's going to go nuts in the first month. But I think in, like, let's say the first year, I think PulseX, in my mind, will go first. Pulsechain over the next 1 or 2 years will catch up and continue even more consistently past it. You know, because if we look at what ETH did, ETH done over a 14,000x, and it just has such a prominent use case on the network, you can't escape it, right? The use case for PulseX isn't actually as prominent as it's a secondary. It's a secondary feature to the network, if you will, not a primary feature. You don't need PulseX to use the network, right? You need Pulse to use the network, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of like if you think of it like ETH and Uni, right? So technically, you can use the hell out of ETH without ever using Uni. Well, because there's other dexes out there, but you're right. But at this point, especially if you sacked for PulseX, why would you not use it? If some other dexes come along, why would you not use it? And just to let you know, first of all, you got a couple more super chats and a sticker.
I just see that there,
secondly, might have to hire a couple more admins or moderators, because the I just want to let you know you've made it big when the hot sexy time girl cam chat.
Oh no, they're there.
Spam you. Yeah, the mods are getting them, but
I appreciate that, guys. Thank you for doing that. Oh no.
But hey, word of your channel's getting out. The sexy time bots are finding it.
I guess I'll take it. It's good. We're doing good things here, Craig. We're doing good things.
If you want to do any more wrenches, tell you who else is in here that I see around. Where'd he go?
All right. Well, you find him. I'm just going to quickly touch on the super chat. So we got $5 from Denny Acosta. Thank you so much for the $5. That's amazing. I appreciate it. Question is, do you think PulseX will reach 2 cents, at least 2 cents by the end of the year? So to reach 2 cents from the bottom of the sack phase, that's a 200x. Or was that? Yeah, it's a 200x. So it's possible. See, the biggest thing that I think will inhibit or allow PulseX to grow will be the overall volume. because and which means it's the user base, which also means it's the amount of gatekeeping and prevention that's put in place from people making it over to Pulsechain. Because if we don't get the daily volume, which means we don't get the users, I think we'll have a little bit more of a hard time reaching what we could if we get the user base. But I think with this last debate with Richard Hart coming out and smoking those 3 Bitcoin maxis and literally deleting them off of the planet,
the guy with the little newborn baby hat on.
Yeah.
That guy was so set in his own. He had blinders on so bad.
Oh, I know.
That anything you said that didn't jive with exactly what he was saying, you were wrong. He was right.
You were wrong. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's like, wait, what?
I love the way Richard handles plebs like that, man.
He's so good. You know, I'm so thankful that he's the guy that's running the ship that we believe in, you know? I'm so glad he's the one at the wheel.
Hey, you know what? That dude can wear a top hat and whatever he wants. Great. And I love how even when he did that the interview with a debate, whatever, with Peter Schiff, how he's like, nobody cares about how many watches you have. Nobody cares about all the stuff. It's like, if they knew anything about him, he says so many times, I don't care. I dress like a clown because there's people out there that are all about Louis Vuitton and Versace and Rolexes and stuff. And they're going to go out and find all these different videos to watch about who got the coolest watch, who's got these different stuff. He does it like, dude, if you got, who knows how much Richard Hart has, right? Millions, billions, who knows, right?
Who knows, man?
What are you going to spend it on?
He's bought everything.
Vintage or artesian ketchups. What was that? I'm thinking of
is that a thing?
I'm trying to give you more Canadian shout outs here.
Right. Okay.
You know, but it's like, what do you do with that money? It's like, you know what? I'm going to go shopping. How much is that? 80 grand. Ugh. I can't believe that's 80 grand. I'll take 2 of them. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, 2.
I could put those on a shelf behind me and plug them in and charge them up, and little lights go, bleep, bleep, bleep. You know?
I know. It's just ridiculous.
But these people that try to diss Richard Hart obviously have not done their research. They don't know. They've read one article or one blog on Reddit, and they think they know all they need to know about Richard Hart.
Yep.
And they're going to go head to head with him. He's going to eat them alive.
You just have no idea what kind of cave they're walking into.
Yep.
It's, oh man. So real quickly here, just to make sure Denny, sorry, it's Denny, not Danny. My apologies here. Just to make sure we cap off your question. I think it's possible. I think it's very possible, but there's a lot of factors and moving parts that are going to make or break that being a yes or a no to whether we reach that. And I think it's very likely we do, but there's some big variables that could offset that and make it very difficult for us. So those are that's my 2 cents. What do you have on that, Craig, before we go to the next super chat here?
Before I say anything, I want to give a couple shout outs. Bobby Hexelrod is in chat, or at least he was.
Oh, right on. Okay.
He's an OG.
Bobby,
well, I don't know.
Thank you so much for checking.
He's an OG in my mind.
He's been around. I've seen him in the chats and I've seen him commenting. And I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Bobby, for checking out the stream. I hope you're having a good day.
And Dougie Peach, I see him all over too. I think he's a good peach. So if you want to throw wrenches, and MJ Money. Anybody else? If I don't know you or don't recognize you, I apologize. These wrenches.
Can I allow you to give wrenches out?
I don't think so.
Oh, I wish.
I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish that would be cool if there was, because that would alleviate the channel owner from having to mess with that stuff, right?
Right, or one of us could be doing that, and the other one could be just,
I could experiment on Dougie Peach. Let's see. Report, remove, put in timeout. Nope, I probably shouldn't do any of those. Sorry, Dougie.
So we got another super sticker for 20 USD. Joey Torres, thank you so much. And all these pair characters sliding on the floor with his knees saying, goal!
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, thanks so much for the super chat.
Bobby said, don't wrench me, then I have to behave. That's
then I have to be okay.
You may get
what kind of Bobby do we want in the chat?
Letter to your supervisor, Bobby.
Yeah. Do we want a wild Bobby or want a tame Bobby?
So you're saying there's a chance. Oh man.
All right. Well,
this chat's been good. I've been trying to kind of watch chat too while I'm like listening what you're saying. And you asked me about the super chat and the 2 cents, right?
Yes.
You know, who is it, Nagabo or something? Somebody showed a clip of him the other day. Says, I guarantee within this much time, it's going to be this much, whatever. And that's all. Trust me, man. I hope you're right. My God, I hope you're right. I hope that Hex is, or Hex or whatever was $150 or Pulse, whichever one of the Richard Hart tokens he was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But big expectations equal big disappointments too, right? So let's just kind of hold off. Let's let it launch, see what happens. Who knows? Maybe the USDC stables do work, and all these other things were the parade of what the heck, Richard? The what ifs, like, well, what if there's an EMP and a asteroid hits the planet and dinosaurs, it cracks open and dinosaurs come out and start eating everybody, and aliens could reach your mind and take your seed phrases. And I mean, whatever. It's already in motion. It's going to happen. It's going to happen hopefully sooner than later. Let's just, my God, we've been here this long. Let's wait it out, see how it goes. And
yes,
that's right. Completion fails. $7 end of year. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's happening. 70,000x by the end of the year.
Let's hope it's as much as it can be, because when we were all sitting there high on life when it was 50 cents, did any of us think we'd see 14, 15 cents again?
No, I didn't.
That happens.
Yeah, I'm sure we all didn't.
Yeah.
So
you got 112 people still watching and 130 likes, man. Rock on.
This is so cool. Guys, thank you so much for coming. We're going to wind down the stream here. I actually have to go pretty quickly, but I think to end the stream, I saw a question here to end the stream. Yeah, I think this would be a fun question to just answer before we end the stream here. So, Craig, if you have one car, only one car, the rest of your days, what car are you driving into the sunset with?
Man, that's a tough one, because I'm really into like totally loaded. Like if I could go out right now and just buy something off the lot, I'd probably get a fully loaded Tacoma.
Oh, nice.
Off-road TRD, like all the extra garbage with the little swamp muffler thing on it and all that stuff. But if I had to go,
I love it.
Well, if I had to go like muscle car, because I'm not like a Lambo guy. Number one, I'm too fat. I don't think I wouldn't look that impressive, like pulling up like, hey ladies, what's up? You know, like look like
those cars actually
look
so difficult to get in and out of, though. To be fair, like it looks like anyone that gets in and out of those looks like a little bit of a struggle.
My luck, I'd lift up the lift door, and the hydraulics that would break, it would come down, like take my toes off right in front of the camera on the red carpet. Like, I'd be on YouTube forever. I'd be the classic YouTube meme. Gone in 60 Seconds. You remember the Mustang? What was the name of the Mustang? The last car he had to get. The car had a name.
I don't think I've seen that. I'm the worst movie reference person in the world, by the way.
Oh, okay, sorry. Lorraine or something. What the heck? Yeah, John Wick's Mustang was pretty bad too. Eleanor. Thank you, Bobby. I knew Bobby was good for something. See, he's behaving himself and answering. Eleanor. So if you go just later when you get time, go on YouTube, right? Search Gone in 60 Seconds, Eleanor. This just gorgeous, like beautiful Mustang, classic. I think it was a fastback. Just oh, hey, it is now. What's up, buddy? He's got an FJ. The FJ Cruiser's Toyota is also very nice. Yeah, Eleanor.
Those are actually super nice. Those are sweet.
Mustang?
Been in one time, got to drive it around for a bit. They're super comfortable.
I had my first car I ever owned when I was a kid. I had a 66 Mustang hardtop midnight blue with original pony interior with a it was a 289 straight six, I think. I'd love to find that car.
Nice.
I'd like to find that car and be like, hey, I kind of need that back now. Here's some Hex.
Yeah.
Kick rocks, kid. What about you, man? What's your car? Canada, so it's got to be like something with four-wheel drive, right?
Yeah, well, I'm thinking
Well,
like
you guys have
like
paved
I
roads
don't
up
know.
there? You guys have pavement?
No, we just have dog sled paths.
I thought I knew you.
Yeah.
That's where I know you from. The
Yeah.
Iditarod. I think my battery just died on my camera, so you guys maybe can't
Oh
see.
no.
I knew
all
you
good.
from the Iditarod YouTube channel. You and the 8 Huskies and 1 Malamute,
Yeah,
I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so my camera died, but I'm still here. Go ahead.
Craig is still here. He's still alive with us, but I've actually never been dog sledding. I've always wanted to, but I'm so torn. When I was younger, I used to be the biggest car nerd. I kind of still am at heart. Like I have like a set of these like model cars that I have out in my other room. There's I love like Paganis and McLarens, and personally, I'd say if I had to pick one car, I have to go the more supercar route. I think that the McLaren 720S is like my all-time favorite that I've seen from any car. That's the newer modern supercars, but I'm a JDM guy too. I had a Subaru WRX GC8 that was like a time attack car. It was stripped out. It had like 300 wheel horsepower. It was a little rocket. And I rallied that thing on dirt roads like you wouldn't believe. And it was the most fun I've ever had in a car. So I would be in a very big toss up between something like an R34 GTR or like an MK4 Supra, a McLaren 720S. The Supras are beautiful. I like the old one way more than I do the new one, for sure. Like the new one's really cool, especially there's a guy actually just up the street from me who has like the brand new one, and it has like a Rocket Bunny body kit on it. It's a super wide stance, deep dish wheels. It's like, oh, it looks really good. But
I tell you what, I'll make you a deal. If we get stupid, I switched to my other camera, so.
It actually doesn't. It looks pretty good. If you had a little light in front of you, it would actually. The backdrop is super nice.
Wait, let's try this. Hey,
hey, that's not bad. I like it.
So, yeah, this is my little Logitech. The other camera I had was the Canon. Anyway, so here's what we do. If we, and only if there's a clause. If we get stupid, slappy, rich, like look, I'm lighting cigars with $100 bills, rich. I'll buy you the McLaren. And then you buy me the Supra, which will force me to have to drop like 60 pounds so I can get in and out of it. So we'll kind of both be doing each other a favor.
Okay.
And this is on YouTube, so I can't go back on it later. Like, oh shit, here's your McLaren.
There's no way we can delete the video. It's impossible. So
no, they don't.
It's contract
on the internet. So they'll go back way back machine. Way back.
Someone clip this and then just share it to everyone, and then reclip it again and again and again, so it can never be deleted. We can't find the source.
A lot of super chats on my channel, so I got a McLaren, and I heard they're kind of expensive. I'm just saying. Do you watch Ozark?
No,
on Netflix.
I haven't seen it. I'm like I said, movies, TV shows, man. I swear I am the worst person. You ask me almost anything, and I'll say I've never seen it.
Okay, well, if you ever watch Ozark on Netflix, there's season 2 or is it 2? Anyway, there's a yellow McLaren on there, and it's pretty hilarious. That whole reason why it's in the show and who has it and what happens to it and stuff. Just throwing that out there. If you ever watch Ozark, maybe you'll remember by then.
Okay. Noted for Ozark. I've had some people talk to me about that in good show as well. So
yeah, it's a good
maybe
show. I like
someday
it.
I'll get around to watching it at some point. So, but I hate to do this, but we're the 2-hour mark, guys, and I unfortunately got to take off. Craig, thank you. It's been great to speak to you and actually meet you. This has been so much fun. If we do this regularly, I would love that.
I'm just going to throw this out there, and if it happens, it doesn't. Like I said, I'm on call this week, so it's a little touch and go. Thank goodness my phone hasn't rang while we've been here this whole time.
Yes, exactly.
We may try to squeeze in maybe Saturdays in between these other Hex streamer shows on our channel anyway. You're always welcome. Anytime we're streaming, you're always welcome. If you're around, I'll shoot you a DM on Twitter if you're available, if you want to jump on. Doesn't have to be anything formal. But we're talking about making our own kind of, and this is of no disrespect to like Discord Syndicate or any of these other conglomerates of different streamers. Some of us newer guys that are just getting started doing this, but with 3 or 4 of us, kind of like you see some of these other chats do, but some of us that have a chance to sit and talk. And I promise I'll try to be more, pay more attention to what's going on in chat, because you and I were just like, yeah, whatever. First time,
but it was great though.
You, right?
It was great. Yeah. I did love that.
But we may start doing that with a couple other new streamers, and like Heinz Crypto was in here earlier. He had to go, but I had asked him earlier on Twitter about doing that, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm down." So I think, you know, two heads are better than one, and three or four. You know, sometimes you get some really good stuff, and but you're always welcome for that. And I'll do a shameless plug for my channel.
Please,
if you want.
please, shameless plug.
Yeah, GenHEX. Only got a couple, like maybe, I don't know, 4 videos out, and then we did like a little test live stream the other night just to work out the kinks. And I'm on call this week, so that's why I haven't posted anything else. Hope to get right back on it this next week. So looking forward to talking to you again soon, man. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Guys, like and subscribe, share, all that kind of good stuff if you haven't already. If you have not seen Cryptographics videos that he's done before, totally worth it, man. He talks to people like we're talking now, you know, and his videos, he does really good. I don't know what else to say, but thank you,
guys. Thank you for coming on, Craig. This has been so much fun. We're definitely, so as for what you're saying about the streams, definitely going to happen Saturday. I have plans. So my schedule, I'd like to do, stream both Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. So maybe we do, we'll figure out something for Saturday. I'd love to come on or have you on, however it works out. And guys, if you haven't already, I posted the link for Craig's channel. Go smash that big red button, smash it, go give him some love. And thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Please like the video on the way out if you haven't already. If you like the channel, you like the content, you like these streams, you want to see more of Craig on the channel, you want to see more people come to the channel, you want to hear more discussions like this where we're kind of crypto and here and there, subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Craig, I will talk to you very soon. Chat, we will see you very soon as well. Thank you guys for coming. Have a wonderful day, and we will chat